This is Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Follow on Twitter. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Marking Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Brennan likes fisting. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. We're marking out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans.
Welcome to Markin Out, Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. This is episode 753. Make sure that you subscribe and download the podcast wherever you have your podcasts. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating to go with that 5-star frog splash. Buy a t-shirt over at prowrestlingtees.com/markinout. Give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on TikTok at Markin Out. Follow us on Twitter at Markin Out and Instagram at MarkinOut11. You can follow me on all social media platforms at DavidPTDPT, Chris at CMSweeney85 on Instagram and Chris Sweendog on Twitter, and Brandon at BTTG161. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing awesome as always. My allergies seem to be clearing up. That's fantastic.
Good to hear.
How about yourself?
Doing great. A lot of wrestling to talk about.
And how?
You know?
Can you believe that it's been 10 years since we saw Taylor Swift and met her?
Time flies.
Is that that's like it's like I can't comprehend that was 10 years already.
Yeah, you know, it's time flies, keeps on ticking.
But how was your week?
It was great. How about yours?
It was pretty good.
Nice.
by chance last night after midnight I took out the trash and I checked my mailbox, which I never do. But I checked my mailbox and there was an unmarked package addressed to me in regards to Markin Out, and it said to open on air, which is quite possibly one of the creepiest and freakiest things that you could possibly receive in the mail.
Do we take any guesses?
First of all, there was absolutely 0% chance that I'm opening that live on air with no stamp.
You can't just say that you got a package that says open on air and then not open it on the air.
I'll tell you what was in it. I already opened it because there was no like return to sender or anything or
I mean technically
address.
You could have opened it on the air and then we could just splice it out if it was anything.
Or I could have like blown up or something.
With which in doing so the recording wouldn't even go out. So
right, so
all right, but reveal what the contents.
I opened it. There was a note that first of all said, read this first. And then I opened it up and I was like, oh, okay, obviously I know what this is now. I didn't know what the contents of the package was, but there was a note. It was from Railroad Rudy. And he sent over, because Railroad Rudy is a weekly listener of Markin Out. We appreciate that. He sent over 2 different chocolate strawberry Kit Kats from Japan. So very much so appreciation to him for that.
Wow, Railroad Rudy. Do you think he was booked at New Japan?
I have absolutely no idea.
I mean, I hope that Railroad's still getting those bookings.
I do too. He also told me I need to open my email on air, so I want to say thank you. He got tickets to Slammiversary.
Wow.
So I will be going to TNA Slammiversary.
That's very cool. Awesome.
He won't be.
Railroad Rudy. What the heck does Railroad Rudy do that he's hooking up with Slammiversary tickets and Kit Kat bars? You know, Railroad Rudy. When in doubt, you can rely on Railroad Rudy.
But the Kit Kats are quite interesting. I didn't try them yet. I'll still, I guess I'll save that for a bigger video with the other Kit Kats. But one's fully in Japanese, so I can't read it. But it's like I said, they're both chocolate strawberries. One is a pink layer on top and a chocolate layer on the bottom. And then the other
Okay.
one that literally it says black chocolate strawberry, which I have absolutely no idea what that possibly means. Maybe it means dark chocolate. That's just
I'm gonna guess so.
That's just a full like normal like chocolate colored Kit Kat.
That's interesting. It will make for a cool video that everybody can watch over on TikTok.
Yeah, and maybe Instagram. Who knows? Depending, I don't know. I don't know if I want to put because I'm not. I don't want to eat in public. I hate doing that, but so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of pro wrestling this week. There's a lot of pro wrestling this weekend. I'm like, I don't want them to do stuff like this.
I know. It's like as if WrestleMania and SummerSlam's not going to be enough. They had to do something like this.
Yeah, like SummerSlam. They're like, oh, 2 nights of SummerSlam. And then we're like, oh, by the way, there's Great American Bash in the afternoon. There's Saturday night's main event at night. Also happening that day is AEW, all in Texas. And then the next day, just to rub salt on the wound, here's WWE Evolution for the second time only. Only ever
it's not
second
necessary.
time.
Why? Don't do that to us.
Yeah, so we'll jump to Monday Night Raw talk right now, which opened with Seth Rollins, where we spoke about the Money in the Bank briefcase last week, right?
I believe so.
His gear,
Yes.
his Trons, and his nameplate were themed to the Money in the Bank briefcase, kind of. Like, it's a darker outfit, so we'll have to see if... I have to assume maybe he'll just stick to the color scheme of the briefcase now, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
But Seth Rollins, I don't even think he said anything. We had Braun Breaker speak about Sami Zayn and say that he'll put an end to Sami Zayn later on. Bronson Reed spoke about the respect that Seth Rollins got for him after what he did to Seth Rollins with the tsunamis. He spoke about Jey Uso and said that he'll tsunami the respect into Jey Uso like he did to Seth Rollins, which is kind of ballsy for him to say that in front of Seth Rollins, I think.
But
And
it's
then
also, but before you continue, it kind of gives us more clarity onto why they are together. You know,
We did
because
have that
It's more of
already,
an
though.
out of respect kind of a thing.
I feel like we did have that already, but it just
I don't think it
drills
was
in
established, but I don't think it was established, or at least not on air, that it was a respect thing. But something that is kind of crazy, I actually forgot. I totally forgot about their huge feud before Bronson Reed went off.
Interesting.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, but I totally forgot about everything that took place with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins.
And then
So,
Paul Heyman
yeah.
spoke, put them all over, and Seth Rollins basically grabbed the mic and did a mic drop of sorts because everything that needed to be said was already said.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was like a lot of people I saw. I don't want to say a lot of people. I saw people complain about this segment. I thought this was fine. And I think people at this point, people are just complaining about WWE segments, it seems. Because I'll talk about one in a second. I'll put a pin in
Yeah,
that.
people are just complaining for the sake of complaining.
First match
No,
of Monday
but-
Night Raw saw Kairi Sane pick up the victory over Roxanne Perez. A match that I would 100% definitely like to see again.
I agree. I thought that it was well done. I mean, Kairi Sane is a veteran, you know, and Roxanne Perez, she's putting the years
technically-
underneath her, but...
Technically,
Huh?
at this point, also a veteran.
Yeah, she's been collecting the years, but it's just really a great pairing between Kairi Sane and Roxanne Perez.
I like the reversals in this. I liked Roxanne Perez working on Kairi Sane's arm, which didn't really come into play in the match. I wish that kind of factored in. But Kairi Sane ends up taking out Raquel Rodriguez. And Roxanne Perez tried to take advantage of that, but Kairi ends up rolling her up to get the victory there. The Judgment Day attacked afterwards. And Asuka made the save. That puts them backstage after that. That puts them into the tag match at Evolution. We get the return of the Kabuki Warriors. I'm kind of split on the way that they got into the match. Because on SmackDown, we saw a triple threat tag team match between 3 teams in order to get Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss into the match. Mm-hmm. But I could also play devil's advocate there and say it's not SmackDown. Adam Pearce runs the show how he wants to run the show. We also saw on NXT, there was no... They were like, oh, and by the way, Zaruka's in the match. And we were like, when's Zaruka qualify for this? But thinking about it, that could just go back to Ava being like, well, I run my show differently.
Yeah, she could do anything that she wants.
So, I
think that's a great connection.
As a whole, should they have had qualifiers? Probably. Mm-hmm. But there's not much of a tag division from the start.
No.
Like, they would have done Dungeon Dolls versus Kabuki Warriors? I don't know. Mm-hmm. After that, we saw Braun Breaker pick up the victory over Sami Zayn. Before the match, Karrion Kross attacked Sami Zayn with I think it was a steel pipe.
And what's even more crazy is the reaction that Karrion Kross got.
Yeah.
Attacking the babyface with a pipe. With a pipe. Did you see the videos of Karrion Kross leaving the arena?
I did.
He's supposed to be such a heel right now, but it comes to a point where you just can't anymore. Like,
especially with someone like Sami Zayn, who's super over with the crowd.
Exactly. It's like the crowd is really starting to get behind a lot of these heels. I mean, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Karrion Kross.
I mean, kind of Drew McIntyre as well at times.
Drew McIntyre, correct? Yeah. It really makes you question whether or not true. I know you're very face versus face, heel versus heel, but I feel like with the way that the
very
crowd
has
that changed
for most of the time.
I'm sorry?
Very against that most of the time.
Yeah, I feel like the crowd over time has started to shift into they don't care who's heel and who's face. I mean, John Cena right now. Mm-hmm. As long as it's entertaining and fun.
Which, that's another conversation that people...
Yeah, I'm sure.
But Sami Zayn being Sami Zayn told Adam Pearce he's doing the match. He doesn't care. He's still going to wrestle. Somehow got cleared. I don't understand. And this wasn't much of a match. He had a little comeback here, but Braun Breaker ends up spearing Sami Zayn when Sami was midair. And he speared Sami Zayn again outside of the ring. Which, Michael Cole, this was a fantastic part of the match where Michael Cole literally begged Chad Patton to stop the match. And I thought that was so well done, and I thought maybe we were going to actually have Chad Patton stop the match. Didn't happen. Sami Zayn was so messed up, Braun Breaker gets him back in the ring, another spear, and wins the match.
And you know what? What was the crowd chanting? They want it again.
And this takes Sami Zayn out indefinitely. I don't know why they did that, but
apparently he has an injury, I think.
That's unfortunate.
I think that's what I saw, that he may it's just a way to write him off to rest up and heal.
After that is the segment I was going to talk about before. Because people were like, this is terrible, they're awful, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Becky Lynch come out. Beforehand, even, I should say, I liked the tag team segment that happened before this with the War Raiders and New Day. And then Becky Lynch joined in by saying Big E's a scumbag. But Becky Lynch came out and she get questioned. How if Bayley and Lyra Valkyria both lost, how does she now have a greater chance of losing that championship at Evolution? And she said that she should have also been one of those people that were allowed to pick their opponent, like Tiffany Stratton, like Io. And then Bayley came out. Before she could say anything, Lyra Valkyria came out. Lyra said that Becky was the person who called her. after WrestleMania, after Bayley got taken out. It wasn't the other way around. Like, I feel like we were maybe led to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then Becky Lynch said that, I forget exactly what she said, but she tried to get into Lyra's head, and Lyra really wasn't having it. And they all spoke. I thought this was a very, very well done microphone segment.
Yeah.
Even before it came to blows with Lyra out on top of that, but even before that, I thought that was like each person said exactly what they needed to say. Like, if this isn't the main event, I'll be shocked.
I don't know.
This is the only match. This is the only match that has, I shouldn't say the only match, but it's the biggest match that has storyline behind it.
True, but I feel it's not going to happen that way.
I don't see any other match that possibly closes.
I mean,
that's like a lot of people were like, oh, the build to Evolution is the absolute worst. It sucks. It was so much better last time. Last time the build to Evolution was Crown Jewel.
I feel like the main event is going to be Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley.
I really don't think so.
I mean, the crowd is so behind Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
And Io Sky.
But I'll be shocked if it's not this match. This one, I mean, like I said, this is the only one that had like the most behind it.
Yeah, I could understand that.
But it's like ridiculous that people like they misremember the build up to Evolution the first time. Mm-hmm. The SmackDown for Evolution, instead of ending with something for Evolution, it was Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton to build up that Best in the World tournament, whatever it was that Shane McMahon ended up winning. It was mostly all for Crown Jewel. You had little bits and pieces set up for Evolution. But I would say this setup is pretty much on par with how it was. Especially with how, instead of Crown Jewel this year, it's Saturday night's main event that's getting the major push.
Well, next up you had Jey Uso pick up the victory over Bronson Reed. But it was by disqualification. I mean...
Yeah, Bronson Reed threw an office chair at Jey Uso.
Yeah.
I don't think what Bronson Reed did to Jey is anywhere close to what Braun Breaker did to Sami Zayn.
Agreed.
Like, for Seth Rollins to be like, oh, I want them taken out, I want him taken out, blah, blah, blah. I don't think... He had a tsunami done to him as well. I don't think that's the same... Sami Zayn was like dying out there. You had Michael Cole begging to have the referee stop the match.
But I kind of feel like that's okay because, I mean, what were we going to do? The alternative is have Bronson Reed hit Jey Uso with like multiple tsunamis again.
He said he was going to do that. He said he was going to do what he did to Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
So... But that, I guess that takes him out of Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
Not that he was in Saturday night's main event, but after that, we had El Grande Americano pick up the victory over Dragon Lee. I think it was funny. At times, it was funny to see Ludwig Kaiser doing the Chad Gable gimmick. He worked extremely well as El Grande Americano. That blockbuster that he did was nice. I think this is working.
I think it's working, but I don't like the commentary doesn't really... I don't like that people are playing...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the Michael Cole popped me because... I don't know if it was this week or the other week. When WWE Shop was selling the El Grande Americano mask, it did literally say like Chad Gable costume mask or something like that.
Oh, I saw that.
Which I don't know why. I don't know why WWE Shop did that. But like I said, I enjoyed this match. Behind the referee's back, you saw Americano adjusts his mask so we could assume it was loaded. He hit the headbutt and he was able to beat Dragon Lee with that. So I'm sure they're going to continue this sort of feud out there.
Yeah, I mean, is this going to lead to the outing of Chad Gable as El Grande Americano too once he returns? I mean, we'll have El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano, I feel.
It's very, very plausible. I could see WWE
we're far
doing
from
that.
it, but we are far from that because he had shoulder surgery, or at least
right.
So we think that he had shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
You know.
After that, we had Gunther come out and he spoke about Goldberg. Goldberg pulled up in a hot rod and he came out. The fans were sold. Gunther went to speak. I feel like I said his name weird just there. But he went to speak, and Goldberg literally, he knocked the microphone out of Gunther's hand, told him to swing, and Goldberg dropped Gunther, and then Gunther escaped before Goldberg could hit a spear. The fans were going nuts. The IWC can complain as much as they want. They were going nuts.
To anybody that says, "Oh, why are they bringing back Goldberg? Why are we bringing back the old timers?" I'm sorry, but listen to the crowd. Watch the crowd. Nothing for nothing, but I would love to see Goldberg in one more match. I mean, if you were like, "Hey, you want to see Goldberg in one more match?" Because you know that you're not going to. He has less than 5 matches, potentially less than 3, potentially only one more match left in him. If you're going to tell me that I have a chance to see him in that tail end, yeah, I'd be interested.
It's like, I feel like I got my fill of Goldberg throughout me going to wrestling over the past 20-something years. Mm-hmm. But if you told me Bill Goldberg is going to be at an event, I would go and see him wrestle.
I think I've only seen him once, but I don't remember.
Unfortunately, the biggest moment that sticks out is WrestleMania 20 for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that match was terrible.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Also, it's funny. Did you see the Celtic Warrior workouts with Roxanne Perez and Sheamus?
I saw a quick clip, but I forgot which clip I saw.
I have to assume it was about Gunther's theme song, where she's
oh yeah
discovered that it sounds like Baby Shark. People don't understand that Baby Shark samples the Jaws theme song, which samples the classical piece that Gunther and Imperium literally used for their theme song. That now is the intro to Gunther's theme song.
That's hilarious.
It's like, but I don't understand how do you not realize it's Jaws. That's like one of the biggest themes.
Yeah. It's the opener for it, you know? It's the big song coming out of it.
Is that the opener? I don't think I've seen Jaws. I've been on the ride.
Opener, but I mean, it's the big song.
There's a documentary coming out. I'll probably watch that. It seemed interesting for Jaws 50. 50th anniversary. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Soon we'll have that with Taylor Swift, but I won't be here. No, you don't get it?
Yeah.
The main event of Monday Night Raw saw Seth Rollins pick up the victory over Penta. Throughout this whole night, like I was saying earlier, Seth Rollins was so obsessed with taking out Sami Zayn and Jey Uso as well as Penta. Why was he not worried at all about CM Punk and LA Knight?
Mm-hmm.
The fans, they were super into this match, but they were chanting CM Punk's name the whole match. LA Knight earlier in the night had a video putting Seth Rollins on notice, and Seth didn't care. He didn't even focus on LA Knight at all. But because of that video, I expected to see LA Knight. This match was incredible.
Crowd loves him.
This match was great. I liked Penta. Penta almost won with the Penta driver. And then he hit the Destroyer, almost won. Seth got his hand on the rope. I think the Destroyer before that was a very hot topic in the IWC because Penta didn't sell the buckle bomb. He blocks it. He absolutely, you could see him blocking the buckle bomb. That happened on SmackDown the other week too with Rey Fenix, where he took a move, but you could see him handspring out of it. Well, he didn't sell it. They don't know what selling is. They don't understand what they're watching on TV, but they're just talking about it on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. But that I thought was a good spot with that the Destroyer. Seth Rollins ends up low blowing Penta with his head. I guess you can call it an accident, but even though he made it look like the mistake, I don't know if
we've seen a low blow like that for DQ before.
We've definitely seen that.
Well, I mean, not DQ.
We've definitely seen that. I don't remember who it was, but we've 100% seen that recently-ish.
I don't know.
Because I remember someone was going for a leapfrog, and it happened to them. Seth did it on purpose. Seth did this on purpose and covered it up as an accident.
Mm-hmm.
The other one looked like it was an actual accident. But after the low blow, he stomped Penta and picked up the victory. And Paul Heyman gets on the phone, demands something. We don't know what it is, but Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed come out. But so did LA Knight. And LA Knight hit Seth Rollins with that BFT, and he took off. And the fans, like you said before, fans were going insane for him.
So over.
I would like to see LA Knight win that World Heavyweight Championship.
I mean, this could definitely be leading up to it right at this point.
There's a long way to go.
I kind of feel like I could see LA Knight taking the championship.
But there's many, many steps that we have to go through first.
I agree with you on that.
I don't even think there's not even a way you could have disagreed. Seth isn't champion yet.
Yeah, there is plenty of steps ahead of us.
Moving over to NXT, it kicked off. Ricky Saints won a gauntlet match against the Vanity Project, which is a match that Ethan Page set up to, if Ricky Saints won, he'd get to pick the stipulation at Great American Bash. So Ethan Page naturally sitting on commentary for this. I liked that he mentioned that Ricky Saints, instead of training to beat him this past weekend, was out wasting his time fishing with Cody Rhodes. I thought that was a nice tie-in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Brad Baylor was the first to lose. Ricky Saints.
Whose birthday was it?
Whose birthday? Wasn't it just July 4th?
Huh?
Wasn't it just July 4th?
I don't know. Maybe it was just July 4th because I saw Ricky Saints, Cody Rhodes.
Then it would have been
Cardona.
Then that was Cody's birthday.
Okay.
Cody's birthday was recently.
Okay. That maybe because I think Cody was on Busted Open last week. I think it was, or I think last week, the first episode of the Nation, and he brought up how he was with Ricky Saints and stuff like that. So I assumed that it was all together.
I thought the fishing thing was separate though. I'm not sure.
It's possible.
I thought the fishing thing was July 4th weekend, and I thought, because I did see that elevator picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Ricky Smokes almost pinned Ricky Saints in this match. Obviously, that's not happening. But the Evolve champion, last to get in the match, Jackson Drake, obviously looked the best, given that he's the champion. The match that Ricky Saints picked for Great American Bash, I feel like is kind of stupid.
Yeah,
he picked an anything goes, anything goes, false count anywhere. You just had to go through the Vanity Project. Why? Who's to say they're not showing up at Great American Bash? There's also Bryce Donovan and Zeta Steele part of the group as well. You face 3 out of the 5 of them.
I mean, false count anywhere match, that's one of my least favorite matches, I think.
Does Ricky Saints have backup if all 5 of them get involved to help Ethan Page?
I feel like that's the least favorite thing, especially in front of a crowd, too.
I don't know about that. Fans pop for the spots left and right. And plus, you got to remember...
It depends on what scene.
I don't know how that's going to work out there. It's a very, very small venue in Atlanta.
Yeah.
At that studio where WCW filmed. I don't know where they're going to take it to, but...
Mm-hmm.
After that, we saw Charlie Dempsey pick up the victory over Tavion Heights. So Tavion is still in the No Quarter Catch crew. And I thought this was a good match for both of them. I just don't like this story. I don't want the group to break up.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with it is you love the group. For me, I feel like it's the writing's on the wall big time, and it's been there for the past few months.
I don't know. I mean, obviously Miles Bourne is out of the group already. But I don't want the group to end because I don't know what's next. But Tavion Heights ends up getting his leg caught in the stairs. Charlie Dempsey stomped it out, locked him in a crab to work it, which Tavion Heights he wasn't going to quit. And Ren Sinclair threw in the towel for him. I think that's a good aspect because now it's like, well, he didn't really beat me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure there's going to be a moment there where he finally does beat Charlie Dempsey and gets out of No Quarter Catch crew, and I don't know what happens with the group.
I'm sorry, Brandon, it's happening. But
I mean, it seems so.
Yeah, get ready for it. Next up, you had Joe Hendry and Mike Santana pick up the victory over the High Rise. TNA World Champion Trick Williams also showing up too.
And I think it's cool that WWE is giving non-TNA fans reasons to care about Slammiversary and TNA. And this was a fun match. But like you said, the TNA champion Trick Williams got involved. Wesley got involved. Santana still able to get that victory. But after the match, Trick Williams took Santana out. Joe Hendry tried to make the save. And the High Rise took over. And both of them were left taken out. They're going to have a contract signing at Great American Bash for Slammiversary. That's the craziest, like, the amount of things that, like, stack up crazy on crazy on crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It just continues to be crazy with the partnership.
I agree.
And speaking of partnerships, that next segment we had Obafemi, Josh Briggs, and Inamura. And before this segment, they aired a video from a few people from Noah, basically hyping Inamura up to win the championship at Great American Bash. Some of those people, you had Marufuji part of that. Great Muta. Great Muta was on NXT this week.
Great Muta.
Is that
legend?
That ties into what I was just saying. That's crazy on top of crazy on top of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Io was also part of this video, putting her support towards Inamura. Josh Briggs put Inamura over. And so that Inamura is going to beat Obafemi. Obafemi ends up warning Josh Briggs, it's not your fight. Back up, basically. It came to blows. And Inamura, I gotta say, if you're going off of wrestling, unfortunately had the upper hand before it was broken up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I would really like to see Inamura win that championship.
I can't see it. I can't see it happening.
I think it would be really cool.
Especially because he's going to be leaving at some point.
Who knows? He left and came back. We had that storyline.
I can't see it happening.
Also, throughout the night, Jasper Troy and Javon Evans were going at one another. And Jasper Troy was like, I'm sick and tired of this. I want just make the match a triple threat to make it Inamura versus Obafemi versus Jasper Troy. And they just kept brawling. Ava instead set up that match for Great American Bash.
Yeah, it's going to be a solid one too, right?
It should be.
Yeah. Should be. But
after that, you had Kalani Jordan pick up the victory over Laney Reed. Going into this, I couldn't think of who I thought was going to win this. Lainey Reed's been getting she's been getting really messy backstage. It went from like 0 to 100 with her. She like showed up as a face, and then all of a sudden she's getting really messy backstage.
I don't know. I still thought that Kalani Jordan was going to get the victory, but...
And the victory she had was amazing. That what are you, turning, twisting, one-of-a-kind moonsault that she did?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever seen someone do that before.
It was very unique.
We've seen people do it like springboard into the ring and do it. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody facing forward, turning and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done.
Yeah, it was interesting, but...
Thea Hale attacked Laney after the match, so that pushes them together. We had a backstage segment with the D'Angelo family. They all met up, and Adriana Rizzo returned. She was the one that called the sit-down between the three of them. Technically, I guess the four of them, I should have said. But she said that because this is clearly not going to end, she got a triple threat match set up for next week for this to just be the end-all, be-all. And like I was saying with... what?
Uh-huh.
I was going to say, I was saying with No Quarter Catch Crew, I don't like them splitting up either. And like I said with No Quarter Catch Crew, I can't picture what's next.
I am A-okay with the split up. I don't know what's going to be next. I mean, do you think that everything with Rizzo, do you think maybe she is going to turn on Tony? And then Tony, this could all lead to Tony being called up to the main roster.
And then what? There's no like picturing. You tell me Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, I 100% see them fitting in regardless. Tony D'Angelo, I don't know where you put him. SmackDown, probably.
Yeah. I really don't know.
You had Hank and Tank pick up the victory over the Culling to retain the tag team championships. Part of me was on the fence. Kind of thought maybe we'd see the Culling win, but I'm happy that we didn't. The pounce from Nico Vance to Hank Walker over the commentary into Booker T. Booker T took a bump. I thought that was crazy. Tatum Paxley got involved, which allowed Izzy Dame to cheat, which drew out Zaruka, brawled with them to the back, and Tank at one point got busted open, but they were able to hit their move, pick up the victory there. And then we get to the final closing moment of NXT this week. It was the Evolution Summit. Throughout the night, they showed a bunch of, a bunch of women showing up to NXT. You had Stephanie Vaquer, the Dungeon Dolls, Ivy Niles, Zelina Vega, and then Ava announced the women from NXT who would be competing in that Battle Royal at Evolution. That being Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Lash Legend, Izzy Dame, and Tatum Paxley. I think this roster is so stacked that it should be way more than just 20 women in the Battle Royal. So
I
think that's unfortunate.
I feel like you're limited. I mean, you're limited on time too. If you add more people, it's going to tack on more time, which takes away from other matches.
But it also... The first Battle Royal had a decent amount of legends in it. This Battle Royal doesn't seem like there's going to be legends. So...
I'm okay with that.
We'll see what happens with that. You had Fatal Influence come out. JC put herself over. Jordan Grace interrupted, which we saw a segment with her and Blake Monroe getting a makeover for Jordan Grace for their tag match at Great American Bash. Lash Legend came out. Stephanie Vaquer came out to an absolutely insane pop there.
Yeah, welcome back, Stephanie Vaquer. Hasn't been there in a long time.
Dungeon Dolls came out. Jada Parker came out. Zelina Vega, Ivy Nile, Lola Vice, Julia, who I feel like was an afterthought in this segment, which is weird. And then Candice LeRae. They all brawled. It was this is the last thing we'll probably see for Evolution, like go home show wise. SmackDown, obviously you'll see stuff, but not like this.
No.
So
I think that this is a solid build up that it should be utilized to go into it. There doesn't have to be anything else.
yeah. Well, so that's NXT. Going to do some predictions for the Great American Bash taking place at Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll start with that Javon Evans and Jasper Troy match. I'm going to say Jasper Troy.
I'm going to say Jasper Troy too. And I'm going Jasper Troy. Let's go into the
I was going to say the tag match with
okay, tag team matchup. Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe taking on Fatal Influence. I'm going Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe.
Oh. Because if Jordan Grace wins here, then that would probably dictate that she loses at Evolution. I'm going to say Fatal Influence wins here.
Okay. All right.
And you're keeping
Interesting pick.
And that's another
I'm
thing.
sticking to Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe.
That's another thing because Blake Monroe, how do you have her lose first? Maybe I should say Blake Monroe, Jordan Grace.
First match.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe.
There you go. Welcome to the side. Let's go into the Falls Count Anywhere matchup for the NXT North American Championship. Ethan Page defending against Ricky Saints. I'm going to go with Ricky Saints on this one.
Has to be, right? Has to be Ricky Saints.
Right? I would pull the trigger. Do it.
You got the Women's North American Championship on the line. Sol Ruka defending the title against Izzy Dame. I'm going to say Sol Ruka. I don't think Zaruka is winning at Evolution.
You don't think she's winning at Evolution?
No, and I don't think Izzy Dame is winning at Evolution either, so.
True. I kind of feel like, you know what? I'm going to go with Izzy Dame.
I think that's a dumb pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go Izzy Dame. You know, maybe there's some friction between Sol Ruka and Zarya. Bring it into the Evolution where maybe that leads to them falling apart a little bit.
We'll see. For the NXT Championship, Obafemi defending the title against Yoshiki Inamura. I'm going to say Inamura.
There you go. Say it with pride.
Even though I don't think it's going to
Obafemi.
happen. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see.
Obafemi. I don't know who's going to dethrone Obafemi. Obafemi is such a built-up character that you need somebody. I don't see somebody.
That's
like
why
Javon
somebody
Evans.
with a background that Inamura has, a background in sumo.
I do agree with you. I feel like it has to be somebody that is like Inamura. How long has Femi been champion for?
You keep asking me this stuff.
I know. I don't know. We need somebody. We need producers on this podcast that like we can be like, hey, get us this number, and then like really quick, they're like, okay, they talk into our ear what the number is, and we're like, we just
not everybody can be Howie Mandel. He won it in January 7th to be exact. New Year's Evil.
Oh wow. Ooh. Okay.
Inamora's
I definitely see Inamura as potential, but I'm maintaining my pick, Obafemi.
So that is the Great American Bash. Moving over to SmackDown. It kicked off with LA Knight, where he addressed Seth Rollins and Seth's group. He spoke about Saturday night's main event, and then Paul Heyman showed up and said LA Knight has no future at all, playing into the whole spoiler prediction thing. The Bloodline showed up, and Solo Sikoa backed Paul Heyman up, made him leave, gave him the option to before they made him. And then Solo Sikoa said Jacob Fatu is gone, Bloodline's gone, OTC is gone, and gave LA Knight basically the same option to leave that Paul Heyman had. And LA Knight went to leave. The fans started chanting for him. They surrounded the ring. And then a chair slid into the ring. It was Jimmy Uso. And I was expecting, everybody seemed like they were expecting Jacob Fatu. But it sets up a tag team match, which I'll put a pin in. After that, Roxanne Perez picked up the victory over Kairi Sane. Alexa Bliss, picked up the victory over Roxanne Perez, Kairi Sane, and Sol Ruka. It was really cool to see Zaruka on SmackDown. It was also cool to see Fred Durst sitting ringside for this. But this was an exciting match. The double Soul Snatcher to Roxanne Perez and Alexa Bliss I thought was dope. But Raquel Rodriguez put Roxanne's leg on the rope to break up a pin, which it's a fatal four-way. I don't see how there's pin breaks like that for rope breaks, I should say. But that drew Zarya in. Charlotte Flair got involved. Alexa Bliss blocked the insane elbow and ended up hitting that Sister Abigail DDT to pick up the victory. After that, the Wyatt Six picked up the victory over the Street Profits to become the new tag team champions. This was a tough one to call given everything that's been going on lately with the tag division on SmackDown. But this match, it made tag team wrestling feel important with this match. And they gave it a lot of time. There were some chaotic moments. And the only thing that I would have taken out of this match was Rowan getting involved. Because that basically led to the end of the match. I don't think the Wyatt Six needed Eric Rowan to have that part of the match. I didn't like that. But they're the new tag team champions, and I'm looking forward to that. After that, Jelly Roll came out and performed. He lost so much weight since we last saw him. He was maybe losing weight at WrestleMania, but he's lost a ton of weight. And he performed Liar, but Logan Paul cut it off. The fans were legitimately pissed. They couldn't fathom a thing happened where Jelly Roll didn't finish performing that song. But Logan Paul, his promo I thought was hilarious because everything that he said to Jelly Roll is basically describing himself. And Randy Orton came out to yell at Logan Paul, basically throwing everything that he said back at Logan Paul. And Drew McIntyre showed up, hit Randy Orton with a Claymore. Logan Paul continued to beat down on Randy Orton. And Jelly Roll grabbed him, tossed him onto the ring mat. And that pissed off Logan Paul. Logan Paul smashed up the music set. After that, you had R-Truth pick up the victory over Aleister Black. R-Truth controlled most of this match, and in the end, he grabbed a chair, which Aleister Black stopped him from using, and then he teased using it, not teased, he went to use it. The referee ends up taking it away. R-Truth ends up getting a quick win over there. And Aleister Black was pissed off. He met Damian Priest backstage, and Damian Priest got taken out for that. You had a segment with Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany said that she picked Trish Stratus as her opponent because she's beaten everybody else. And maybe if she beats Trish Stratus, she'll be looked at as one of the greats as well. And then Trish fired back saying that Tiffany Stratton needs the win way more than she does. But she's walking out with that championship at Evolution. Naomi came out to show off the Money in the Bank briefcase, which triggered for Jade Cargill to come out and attack her. That led to a pull apart. They separated them. I thought we were going to get a women's match added to Saturday night's main event, but that's not the case. The main event saw Jimmy Uso and LA Knight pick up the victory over the Bloodline. I thought the match was fine. There was nothing crazy. I liked LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. LA Knight did the springboard elbow drop, and then Jimmy Uso hit the Uso splash. Solo Sikoa broke that pin up, and then Paul Heyman showed back up. LA Knight went out to deal with him, turned into a kick from Tala Tonga, And then Jimmy ends up doing a quick roll-up pin to Solo, gets the victory there. The Bloodline chased Jimmy Uso through the crowd. Solo was pissed off to see Paul Heyman there, but LA Knight hit him with the BFT. And then while he's yelling at Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker showed up, tore LA Knight in half, and then Bronson Reed hit that spear Bronson Reed hit the tsunami on LA Knight. So that's SmackDown. Moving over to Saturday night's main event taking place at the State Farm Arena and 8TL. You got Solo Sikoa taking on Jimmy Uso for the U.S. Championship. Solo's taking that. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. I think it's safe to say Randy Orton, but I don't know. Jelly Roll will be in attendance, so I'm going to say Randy Orton with the help of Jelly Roll, perhaps. LA Knight taking on Seth Rollins. I think it's going to be Seth Rollins. And then the main event, Goldberg's retirement match, the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Gunther defending the title against Goldberg. It's Gunther. Gunther's walking out with that championship. Like I said before, I really thought we were going to see a women's match added to Saturday night's main event. People were like, Evolution's taking place the next day, which I frankly don't think matters. I feel like they should have a women's match here 100%. But that's Saturday night's main event. Going to do predictions for WWE Evolution taking place at the State Farm Arena. I feel like we're not going to pick that Battle Royal. Actually, I'll say it. I'll just say it. The Battle Royal winner goes on to clash in Paris to get a title shot. Nikki Bella. Due to Liv Morgan's injury, this is where she is. I feel like that is probably how do you not have Nikki Bella move on to Paris to get a title shot?
Who's the title shot against?
We don't know.
I'm not going Nikki Bella for sure.
There's Io Sky, there's Rhea Ripley, there's Tiffany Stratton, there's Trish Stratus. Nikki Bella is the only one that is built up. The whole Evolution event was built around Nikki Bella, it seemed. They're not just going to put her in a battle royal and be like, you're not going to win. They're not going to have her come back. She's not coming back like part-time. She's booked for Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
Like, Stephanie Vaquer is a good name to pick, but I don't see her winning it over Nikki Bella. I think it should come down to Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella.
And then if it was them two, I would go Vaquer over Nikki Bella.
Personally, we would maybe go Stephanie Vaquer over Nikki Bella, but if Nikki Bella is in that ring, she's winning that match.
I don't know. I can't see that.
Has to.
But, yeah.
No holds barred
right,
match.
Let's move on to... Huh?
Jade Cargill taking on Naomi. I think this is probably Jade Cargill's match to win.
I'm going to go with Jade Cargill as well. Jade Cargill. Let's go on to the... Let's see. Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Judgment Day taking on Flair and Bliss, taking on Sol Ruka and Zarya, taking on Kabuki Warriors. I'm going to go with Judgment Day.
I find it really difficult to not say Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss here.
Well, there you go. Say it.
They have merch together. We're not friends.
True.
If it's not Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, then I think it will be the Judgment Day, but I'm going to say Charlotte and Alexa Bliss.
All right. NXT Women's Championship on the line. JC Jane defending against Jordynne Grace. I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace.
I see this is difficult because the winner goes on to Slammiversary to face Masha Slamovich in a title versus title match. And I could 100% see Masha walk away with the NXT Championship as well. Will Jordan Grace have it for such a short amount of time?
No, 100% no. I could see if they do face off that it's going to be interference by maybe JC Jane. Jordan Grace is winning, and she's not losing it to Slamovich so quick. She's going to have a nice reign.
I'm going to say wrong. I'm going to say she loses it. I'm going to say Jordan Grace wins and then goes on to Slammiversary to lose to Masha.
Interesting. All right. Women's World Championship on the line. Io versus Rhea.
This is a tough call.
I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley.
It seems like all signs point to Rhea Ripley. I'm going to say Io Sky.
Oh, sorry. I mean Rhea Hogan. Idiots.
For the WWE Women's Championship, the champion Tiffany Stratton defending the title against Trish Stratus. Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time.
Tiffy time. I'm going Tiffy time.
And then what I only could assume is the main event of this program. For the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, Becky Lynch taking on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I'm going to say Bayley.
It's funny you say that because I'm actually going to go with Bayley as well.
I'm pumped for this event. I will say that.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
So that is WWE Evolution. Going to take a quick little break right now. And we'll be right back here on Markin Out.
Hello, wrestling fans. Yakko Warner here. I gotta tell you something. I am a wrestling fan too, and the only thing I ever listen to in the water tower is Markin Out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Markin Out, episode 753. Moving back to AEW Collision from last week, it kicked off with Kevin Knight picking up the victory over Nick Wayne and Shelton Benjamin. This was supposed to be a singles match, and I have no idea why they added Nick Wayne to that. But I will say it's absolutely crazy. Seeing Shelton Benjamin be an absolute beast in that match, be older than both of them combined. That's crazy. He took the pin, I guess, to set up a title shot. And then for some reason, the Patriarchy got added to that match. Mystico and the Conglomeration teamed up to pick up the victory over the Don Callis family. I checked out of this match when Mark Briscoe got the chair in the ring and the referee just didn't do anything to get the chair out, and then it led to the finish of the match. I hated that. Scorpio Sky picked up the victory over Max Caster. This was an open challenge, and it's crazy that Scorpio Sky has been off TV since September 2023. I don't know why. I mean, he came out with Top Flight and Christopher Daniels. I think on Dynamite they said they're going to be Skyflight now. I don't think that's necessary, but it's great to see Scorpio Sky back on TV. The interview with Christopher Daniels and Chris Van Vliet came out this week, and Christopher Daniels announced that his eye was gimmicked that whole time, which completely blew me away. My jaw was on the floor hearing that. So well done to Christopher Daniels. You had Willow Nightingale pick up the victory over Viperous. This was a meaningless match. It was at least quick. Normally you'd see a match with someone in AEW against someone who's not in AEW and it goes like 10 minutes. So I appreciate the fact that it didn't do this, but you don't need... Willow Nightingale is already Willow Nightingale. I feel like there's nothing else you can accomplish in an enhancement match like that. You had FTR pick up the victory over the Outrunners. The heel tactics from FTR where I thought were good. That was a weird sentence. The Outrunners looked like they never cooled off. It's been 8 months. Which I don't see how... I mean, that's like AEW's always start and stop. The blood I thought was the only unnecessary part of this match. Especially since they didn't show what happened to get the blood. I don't even think they mentioned it. I like the Outrunners hitting the Shatter Machine. This was probably the best tag team match in AEW in months. Literal months. You had Athena, Julia Hart, Megan Bayne, and Tekla pick up the victory over Queen Aminata, TJ, and Thunder Rosa. I said the other week, We don't need all-star women's tag team matches. I'm glad they're getting TV time, but why should Athena care about teaming with anyone here? Tekla and Megan Bayne look like complete afterthoughts. They debuted. We have nothing for you. Here's an all-star women's tag match. I like the exchange between Tekla and Queen Aminata. Both of them, I think, do a very good job at covering up their slaps. Like a very, very good job. I didn't like Tekla cowering to the corner. I hated that. They're trying to build her up as like some force, and she kind of cowered into the corner there. You had Athena and Thunder Rosa brawl off to the back. Penelope Ford distracted the referees. Sky Blue attacked Ty Mello. Anna Jay went for a tag. That took her out of getting the tag. The spear into the ring post from Megan Bayne looked sick. But Sky Blue, Penelope Ford got up on the apron, and Anna Jay knocks them down. It distracts her, allowing for Megan Bayne to hit the running power bomb. I don't know when the last time we saw her do the F5. Maybe she's not doing it anymore, but it seems like that running power bomb's her finisher now. The match was good, but I don't want these random all-star matches. I want multiple meaningful matches on AEW programming. Kyle Fletcher picked up the victory over Daniel Garcia to become the number one contender for the TNT Championship. I don't care about either of them, so it was a meaningless match to me. Adam Cole cut like a rah-rah sort of promo to open the show, which Kyle Fletcher interrupted and said there's nobody more deserving of a championship match than him. And then Daniel Garcia interrupted and he goes, well, everybody's beating me. Why would anyone care to tune in to see a Daniel Garcia match if he's openly saying, well, everybody's beating me, it doesn't matter? I don't, and why would you expect if everyone's beating you? Why would anyone expect him to beat Kyle Fletcher and then beat Adam Cole? Dynamite kicked off. Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm had a face-to-face. I think for the most part, everything that Toni Storm said to Mercedes was stuff that you could shoot back right at Toni Storm. So that part was goofy to me. Do I think Mercedes will win? Probably not, but I can't stand the timeless Toni Storm character. So I really hope she loses that title soon. You had the Don Callis family pick up the victory over Bandito and Brody King. This, I think, pushed Supercard of Honor. And usually Ring of Honor storylines on AEW TV are like really bad. But I enjoyed this match. I thought this was a good match. I liked when Takeshita went to do something to Bandito, and Bandito turned it around and did a moonsault to the outside onto Kyle Fletcher. Unfortunately, Don Callis family picked up the win there. You had Ricochet pick up the victory over Blake Christian. The Gates of Agony came out to distract Blake Christian. The match kept going. Blake Christian has no wins in AEW. And to make matters worse, he was able to outsmart the Gates of Agony for a moment. They're all heels, by the way. I don't understand. Obviously, I understand why this match took place. Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, or I should say probably just the Gates of Agony, took out Blake Christian's partner. But why are heels facing heels? And why is Blake Christian, if he goes this long against Ricochet, it just makes Ricochet look bad. You had MJF and Mark Briscoe in their Talky Talk segment. This was mostly garbage. They continue with the anti-Semitism. MJF countered it with classism, takes shot at Mark Briscoe, and then he puts over Jay Briscoe and then says what he said. If Jay was here, he would say the wrong brother died. Which I understand that's something that's said in pro wrestling. Both sides probably agreed to it. I think wrestling has evolved way past stuff like that, though. Beyond. This led to Mark Briscoe snapping. The Hurt Business came out. Jet Speed attacked. The Patriarchy also came out and attacked them. But I don't understand why you're continuing with the anti-Semitism stuff with Mark Briscoe. And I'll be the only person calling it out. People are like, well, MJF eats pickles. He loves pickles. Of course it's not anti-Semitic. How's it anti-Semitic if he's selling pickles? Selling pickles and eating pickles is not an anti-Semitic thing. Using the exact phrase that Mark Briscoe used, putting it on a shirt, all of that stuff is anti-Semitism. The fans are cheering, they're laughing, they're having a great time doing it. Most of them probably don't think that it's anti-Semitic. Most of them probably don't even think that it could possibly be anti-Semitic. But I'll call it out. I'll be the only person calling it out. Because putting that exact phrase that Mark Briscoe is using towards a Jewish person is anti-Semitism. You had Megan Bayne pick up the victory over Tekla, Ty Conti, and Queen Aminata to get that number 2 spot in the Gauntlet Battle Royal. Tony Khan recently did an interview where he basically said the only reason why Queen Aminata is being used on TV is because Jamie Hayter got injured. And I feel like that is an absolutely ridiculous thing to have publicly, even privately say. Give your women more time. Why was this the only women's match on Dynamite? Why do they continue to only have one women's match on Dynamite? This match was chaotic. It was a bit messy. Penelope Ford and Anna Jay got involved. Megan Bayne ends up winning with that powerbomb on Queen Aminata. And then Queen Aminata backstage, Tekla was being interviewed. She ends up getting attacked and it got separated. So I assume we'll see something between the two of them in that Gauntlet Battle Royal. Samoa Joe picked up the victory over Wheeler Yuta. This match went too long. It's Samoa Joe and it's Wheeler Yuta. It's just not believable to me that Samoa Joe, the beast that Samoa Joe is, can't put Wheeler Yuta down in minutes, seconds. Gabe Kidd attacked Samoa Joe afterwards. The Ops ran down. They all left. Yeah, the Young Bucks and the Death Riders pick up the victory over the Ops, Hangman and Will Ospreay. This, for me, this was creatively lazy. And it was very chaotic where the referee was calling the tags, but did absolutely nothing else to enforce the rules. Hangman continued to fight. Gabe Kidd and Wheeler Yuta came back out. Will Ospreay got back into it, but he got put down. They took out the plastic bags and Swerve appeared on the screen and they all stopped to listen to Swerve's monologue, which is, I think, just ridiculous. You can continue doing what you're about to do. You can choke them. You can see Swerve's not there. He's at a machine about to destroy the Young Bucks limousine. So the Young Bucks take off looking for Swerve. Swerve destroys the limo. Samoa Joe gets back into it, takes everybody out by himself. Claudio prevents the buckshot. Hangman puts him down. And then Marina Shafir, who I don't even think should have been there due to what happened to her last week, was the one to run in front of a chain to get Jon Moxley out of the ring like she's freaking Superman. And then to end Dynamite, you have the Young Bucks actually get to their limousine. How will we recover from this? Some of the absolute worst acting you'll ever see in pro wrestling was that ending segment from the Young Bucks. And Swerve stomped on them to get that upper hand going into AEW All in Texas. You had another episode of Collision this week. Paragon picked up the victory over the Don Callis family. I found it weird that Paragon didn't come out together as a group. But this was another match where the referee didn't try to control the match. He didn't try to get any sort of control. Adam Cole ends up winning, so wrestling dictates that kind of sucks because that would mean that maybe he's losing the title. And I don't want to see him lose the title. They almost fought afterwards, but Don Callis stopped Kyle Fletcher from doing anything. You had Mystico pick up the victory over Black Taurus. I don't know why this match really took place outside of getting the aftermath of what happened. Because it's not like Black Taurus was announced for the Gauntlet match, I don't think. And it's not like he's beating Mystico here. The main thing was MJF showing up afterwards saying that if, with the mask that he took from Mystico, if MJF doesn't beat Mark Briscoe like he plans to do, he's going to hope to see Mystico in the match and take his mask again. And he'll do that over and over again till Mystico has no more masks. You have the Outrunners and Jet Speed pick up the victory over FTR and the Patriarchy. This turned into chaos. And all the chaos allowed for the heels to cheat, which I'm fine with. But shouldn't the outcome of this turn into the Outrunners being added to the title shot for beating the Patriarchy, being on a team that beat the Patriarchy? Instead, it sets up another tag match between the Outrunners and FTR at All In Texas. You had Gabe Kidd pick up the victory over Shibata. They spent a lot of time outside of the ring. But Wheeler Yuta eventually got involved, and it allowed for Gabe Kidd to low blow Shibata, leading to the end of the match. Chris Statlander came out afterwards, and they made it seem like there was a big thing going on with the Death Riders there. It seemed like she was out there for them. There's been some backstage stuff between the groups, or between her and the Death Riders. But it's for her to do commentary for this. I still don't think she's going to be joining the Death Riders, and I really hope that's not the case. But she was on commentary for the main event. Willow Nightingale, Thunder Rosa, Mina Shirakawa, and Queen Aminata picking up the victory over Megan Bayne, Julia Hart, Tekla, and Athena. Again, this is beyond lazy booking. It's great that the women are main eventing an episode of Collision. But the matches like this, to me, that just shows that you don't care about your division. And I don't see how anybody can look at this match and be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that booking. Everyone's like, we need the women's tag team championships. Look how the women's division is booked. It's ridiculous. You had Billy Starks and Sky Blue attack afterwards. Ty J came out to make the save. I think this is like, and they all brawled, which rightfully so, it leads to the gauntlet match. But I think it's completely night and day with how WWE handled the go-home show to Great American Bash and Evolution on NXT this week to how AEW handled the women going into this pay-per-view. Their biggest pay-per-view in the United States. I think it's completely ridiculous. So, moving on to AEW All In Texas predictions. I have to assume more 0-hour matches will be announced, but we have FTR versus the Outrunners. I think it has to be the Outrunners here, and hopefully it can lead to something. We have an 8-man tag. Big Boom AJ and the Conglomeration set this up on Collision. Big Boom AJ, by the way, teaming up with Ishii is like beyond crazy. But they're taking on the Don Callis family. I have to assume that version of the Don Callis family will be losing. I think it's great that Big Boom AJ is going to be part of All In Texas. And I'm sure it's going to be a fun match. You have a tag team trios match on the line, the titles. The Ops defending the titles against the Death Riders and Gabe Kidd. It has to be the Ops. Has to be. World Tag Team Championships on the line. Hurt Business versus Jet Speed and the Patriarchy. I really hope the Hurt Business retain the titles. I want them to retain the titles. TNT Championship on the line. Adam Cole taking on Kyle Fletcher. Like I said before, I really hope Adam Cole retains. So I'm going to say Adam Cole. A tag team match. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks, where if Ospreay and Swerve lose, they can't challenge for the AEW Championship for 1 year. And if the Young Bucks lose, they will be stripped of their EVP status. I hate absolutely everything about the Young Bucks. I hate their EVP gimmick. I hate everything they're doing. But I would much rather see them keep the EVP status than have Swerve and Will Ospreay in the title scene. I don't need to see that. Women's Casino Gauntlet and Men's Casino Gauntlet match, I feel like you can't really call because you don't know who's in it. Outside, we know Mark Briscoe and MJF will be 1 and 2. We know Chris Statlander and Megan Bayne will be number 1 and 2. I don't think MJF will be winning this, but I would rather see him win than anyone else. And I hope to see Chris Statlander win that, so I'll pick MJF and Chris Statlander. You have Okada defending the Continental Championship versus Kenny Omega defending the International Championship. They'll be unified to become the AW Unified Championship. Still a very, very stupid name. And the lineage stays, so we're still getting that awful Continental Classic. Very boring. Very creatively draining. I think Kenny Omega has to win that match, though. So I'm going to say Kenny Omega. You have a Texas death match for the AW World Championship. Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page. I don't care either way who retains, but I'm going to say Hangman Adam Page. Or wins, I should say. Retains or wins. I'm going to say Adam Page. Hopefully he ends that reign of boring terror. And then the Women's World Championship on the line. Timeless Toni Storm defending the title against Mercedes Moné. I wouldn't be pissed off if Mercedes won. But I would rather see Toni Storm win and then they both branch off and defend the titles. Have storylines. Multiple storylines going on for the women for these titles. Because they've been held hostage. You can't further any sort of women's storyline here without those titles. And without those titles, what do we get? 3 all-star women's tag matches. Very creatively lazy. So hopefully Timeless Toni Storm retains that and loses it pretty quickly. That is AEW All In Texas. Hey, Brandon, got any shout-outs?
Damn it, Bobby. How many times do I have to tell you to listen to Brandon's shout-outs?
Heads of State gets the first shout-out. Do you know anything about this film or no?
I know John Cena's in it.
Yeah, it's a new movie out on Amazon Prime. You'll see it on the WWE ring mat as well. John Cena, Idris Elba, Priyanka Chopra are the stars of this show. This movie. You have Carla Gugino is in it, Stephen Root, as well as Jack Quaid. John Cena, though, portrays the president in this, or not portrays, he plays the president. He's not portraying anyone, but he's playing a president of the United States. Idris Elba is the British Prime Minister. They don't like one another, but then they end up having to work together to stop a major world takeover. It's left open for a sequel, and I would 100% hope that there is a sequel for this because I enjoyed this film. It was very well done.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah, it was good. It was mixed of comedy, action.
Yeah, I'm a fan of all the actors that are in it.
My next shout out goes to My Mom Jane, which is a new documentary out on HBO Max. I get to say that for the first freaking time. That returned this week. But it's directed by Mariska Hargitay, and it's about her mom, Jane Mansfield. It's pretty crazy that she was like a mega star, but she passed away at the age of 34. And it seems like she lived such a life before that. She got into a car accident, which all the kids were in, which is, it's crazy that they all survived, except for her. The only people that passed away were the adults in that car. Mm-hmm. But it starts out as a pretty standard, documentary biography and turns into a mystery where it's revealed that Mariska's father wasn't actually her father, and they reveal who her real father was based on what's in the documentary. I guess it was long time rumored that he was the father, but it was never officially publicly out there.
Confirmed. Mm-hmm.
So, it was. I think they had a public affair, but at the same time, it wasn't public. It's something you definitely can't do in 2025. To be as famous as she was, going out and doing that stuff and not having it photographed these days, that there's no way that would happen. But the documentary I thought was well done. Has a great feel-good ending, so check that out on HBO Max. My last shout-out goes to Ozzy Osbourne, who officially retired from touring this past weekend. It was a big event.
Ozman.
It was called Back to the Beginning in Villa Park in Birmingham, Alabama, in Birmingham, England. And I think... feel like I read they raised over $160 million for charity, I think, due to that event.
To everybody being he sold out and stuff like that, it's going to charity.
You had Mastodon, Rival Sons, Anthrax, Hailstorm, Lamb of God.
Pantera.
There was Yeah, there was a super group led by Tom Morello with different musicians like Billy Corgan, Chad Smith, Travis Barker, Steven Tyler, Sammy Hagar. You had Alice in Chains, Gojira, Tool, Slayer, Guns N' Roses, Metallica. Crazy seeing them together. And then Ozzy performed a set, and then Black Sabbath closed it. They did a total, I think, almost 70 songs for everyone combined, which I feel like that might be the most I've ever heard at one show.
How long was the event?
I'm not sure. Had to have been long enough for 70.
I mean, it's a large amount, but I don't think that's, I don't know, like when you compare it to other things that are taking place right now, but I don't know if I would I feel like I don't know if I would enjoy a concert like this, like where you probably only see 4 to 7 songs max per band.
Yeah, I think, see, I would have been annoyed because Metallica didn't do Enter Sandman, so that would have annoyed me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you're going to this, you're going for Ozzy and Black Sabbath, and combined their sets were like exactly what you could have hoped for from the two of them.
Yeah, I think Ozzy did like 4 songs, and then Sabbath did like 4.
Because I've seen Ozzy solo, and I've seen Black Sabbath, and it was basically those. I mean, it was basically those 2 shows put together. So,
when did you see them?
I mean, you're asking for a lot here. Prior, I saw them in summertime. I saw Ozzy Osbourne. I think I saw Black Sabbath first. Jones Beach. Ozzy Osbourne I saw in Jersey. Pouring freaking rain. That part sucked. I got to hear. I heard "Mama, I'm Coming Home" twice.
That's pretty cool.
Because
I wish
Ozzy,
I got to see Ozzy.
Go on. I was gonna say Ozzy.
No, I was gonna say
Ozzy messed up.
You can't say go on.
No, well, because you stop talking.
All
But
right, I'm not
Ozzy
gonna
messed
talk.
up, and
Go.
it didn't seem like we couldn't tell he messed up, but he called it out. He was like, I couldn't live with myself if I didn't redo it. It bothered him.
Mm-hmm. All right, my turn. It's our first time recording a podcast, folks. Now I have to remember what I was going to say. Oh,
I really wish
that
I could
actually
see
saw...
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, exactly. We can continue now.
But the
No,
most...
I wish...
Oh, go on.
My first concert that I actually saw was Off Fest. So it was Ozzy Osbourne wasn't performing, but it was a bunch of groups that were performing at Ozfest, and I feel like it would have been so cool to see like Ozfest or something like that.
I feel like I asked you if you wanted to see Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath.
Who knows? I don't remember.
I
don't remember.
The most amount of songs I think I ever saw live in one concert might have been like 50. So 70, I think, is like really crazy. I don't know how people sit there for that. I don't know if people had to stand.
Yeah.
There was a pit. I saw that.
Yeah, Jason Momoa getting involved in that pit too. You see that?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
But Ozzy,
You know?
Ozzy unfortunately retired from touring, I should say, due to Parkinson's. And it's nice to see that he got that last like big celebration, because he did technically, I would say, probably altogether stop touring in 2018. But this was like the final show that he got to do. It was cool. They did they shouted him out on Monday Night Raw for it.
Yeah, I mean, and I love that a lot of it is going towards
Parkinson's
charity, like the Parkinson's Foundation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really, it's nice to see so many people come together to pay their respects for Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, I saw Dolly Parton put out a video too. So those are my shout outs. Now it's time for is right, our Mark Out moment of the week. I gotta say, last week WWE Vault released a behind-the-scenes video of it was like new generation superstar promos and stuff, and they just randomly had footage of Road Dogg and Jim Johnson performing with My Baby Tonight and recording that together. I thought that was really cool to see. They also uploaded a video with stars before they were big in WWE with a 2010 dark match between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins that's done in the NXT ring, but it was a SmackDown dark match. That was when NXT was live before SmackDown tapings. You also had John Cena versus Crash Holly from UPW in 2000. So it's like technically John Cena in the Attitude Era. Because he's wrestling Crash Holly, who was in WWE at the time. You have Walter versus Fred Yehi from Evolve in 2017. And then you also have Hurricane versus AJ Styles from Jacked in 2002. That match is always floating around the internet, though. But it was cool to see those. You have other Mark Out moments? Because I do.
No, nothing for me.
Well, I'll continue because Brian Williams, longtime WWE video game developer, announced this past weekend that in the next DLC pack, New Jack is going to have two different entrances. One where in a 1-versus-1 no DQ match, he's going to come to the ring, throw a garbage can of weapons into it. All the weapons are going to come into play. They're going to stay out there and be in play when the match starts. And his theme song, he confirmed, will play throughout it. So, I think that is amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Also, speaking of WWE 2K25, they released an update to the Island mode featuring the Wyatt Six. And it includes previously unused footage of Bray Wyatt and audio, which I think is really cool. It was slated for WWE 2K22, and then he was unfortunately released, and they took him out completely. And it almost seems like this footage was like the end of my career that it would have been. Mm-hmm. But they worked it into this, and it was like, it's such a fourth wall breaking moment, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I thought once you completed it, it was going to lead to Bo Dallas being unlocked, but that didn't happen. It was just creator parts for a giant Lily doll that you can have. Like, Lily's unlockable through the island in this new chapter, but you can now use her as created parts through this Wyatt Six pack. Yeah, and it sucks because some of these arenas that they have are just I wish we could just play normal exhibition matches in, because they added the Wyatt's the swamp, the compound from the DLC that we had in 2K20 that people hated, with the exception of that Fiend DLC that we had. Mm-hmm. So it's unfortunate that we can only do matches online. Technically, I can't because I don't have online access. I could just use the island, but there's no replayability there. Kind of, you can't just pick and choose what match you want. And this freaking update broke so many things in the creation suite. So that's beyond annoying.
That does sound annoying.
It's like for every step forward, there's steps back. They added in this update, they added Trons for Aleister Black. So it seems like the rumors are going to be true, where Travis Scott will no longer be part of WWE 2K25, and we will instead be getting Aleister Black, which is dope.
Such a fail. Mm-hmm. Everything that happened.
I don't know. I mean, contracts are contracts. Whatever happened. I don't know. We probably never know.
I know. There's going to be a documentary about this at some point.
I don't think there's going to be a documentary. Dark Side of the Ring. It's Chris Jericho here.
Exactly.
Travis Scott was supposed to be a DLC Superstar Pack number 1.
I would say no. I mean, like that entire with The Rock and everything, and Cody, and the no follow through with all of it. 15 to 20 years. Just wait and see.
Just Travis Scott in general.
No.
No, you're saying Travis Scott in general, though, not just
Oh,
because
yeah.
of 2K25.
In general, not specific, just him in the video game.
So those are our Mark Out moments of the week. Thank you so much for checking out Markin Out episode 753. You can follow us on Twitter at Markin Out, at BTTG161 on all platforms. Chris Sweendog, CM Sweeney85, David PTDPT. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Markin Out. YouTube and Instagram are Markin Out 11. ProWrestlingTees.com/Markin Out. At Markin Out on TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, markinout.com, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Have a fantastic week.